Good evening, everybody. Myself, Dr. Akshay heartily welcomes one and all on this August evening for the webinar. Today, welcome all of you on behalf of Homeopathy 360 and All India Homeopathic Students and Youth Association. Well, I would like to tell you about Homeopathy 360 is one of the most updated platform for all kinds of homeopathic works. In Homeopathy 360, we have got the updated journals, the newsletters, the job vacancies, and a lot of programs that keeps on going across the globe. Homeopathy 360 is committed to the motto, you think, we link. We believe in linking all the minds for a better future, for making homeopathy the first choice of medicine. That is why we keep on organizing a lot of programs, webinars, competitions, so that the interest for homeopathy must always be there. And also, I would like to tell you about All India Homeopathic Students and Youth Association. This association is the association of the students, where it has got its unit in all the states of the country, where all the younger generation homeopaths, the students, the researchers, and also the young practitioners keep on contributing a lot of articles, a lot of presentations, a lot of webinars, and a lot other activities that helps for the development and better understanding of homeopathy. All India Homeopathic Students and Youth Association also organizes several health camps and also the blood donation camps so that the needy people can get an aid. And All India Homeopathic Students and Youth Association is committed towards the betterment of homeopathy by saving its principles and saving its identity. So, my friends, I would like to apprise you about the eminent personality in medical field. She is pure, pious, perfectly akin to her name, with purity of mind and heart. She is a well-experienced researcher, medical practitioner with innovations in her spirit. She is a well-organized personality with all principles of management. She is a very good doctor who works for the betterment of humanity to eradicate all the diseases from the earth. I am certain her notions, knowledge, experience, and practices will enable us to learn a lot. Our today's guest speaker is Dr. A.I.H.S.A.Y.A Madam. She is an assistant professor from J.R.K. Homeopathic Medical College and Hospital in Rohtak. She is also the vice president of Delhi Homeopathic Medical Association, and also she is working for the Muskan Foundation. She is spiritually intense, creator and promoter of original ideas, and enjoys considerable medical success. She is versatile and have the ability to learn and teach in a very easy manner. So, my friends, in today's webinar, I'm sure we are going to enrich ourselves a lot by the blessings of our father of homeopathy, Dr. Christian Frederick Samuel Hahnemann. So, we have with us Dr. A.I.H.S.A.Y.A Madam.
Thank you,
Madam,
Dr.
we
Akshay.
really welcome you. Yes, madam.
Thank you, Dr. Akshay, for this warm welcome. I am really honored. Thank you so much. Shall we start?
Yes, sure, madam. You can start. You may start, madam. You need to share your screen.
Yes. Screen share. Can you see my window?
Yes, madam. Yes, madam. It is visible.
Is it visible? My PPT?
Yes, madam. It is visible. Yes,
Okay.
madam. It is visible.
So let's start with the totality of the symptoms with its practical utility. And first of all, I want to say and share why Dr. Hahnemann used totality of the symptoms. If you see our organ of
Excuse me, madam.
yes,
Madam.
yes.
Yes, madam. Sorry to interrupt you, madam. You kindly show the slideshow because all the screen will be visible, madam. One cup button is there, madam.
Okay, okay.
Or you can directly press F5 button where the whole
Yes,
screen will
please.
become a slideshow presentation.
It's not working. It's not working with F5.
Okay, madam, you can see one icon that is right at the bottom of your window. That is beside the zoom where you do the zoom. Right, madam. Right at the bottom of the window. Besides that, madam, one button is there. Cup button is there, madam.
Okay, wait.
Yes, madam. Beside that, madam.
This one, no?
Not, madam. Not that one.
This one.
At the left side. Yes, madam. This one. This one. Exactly this one.
Is it fine?
Yeah.
Is it fine,
It's
Dr.
not yet
Akshay?
coming. Madam, it's not yet coming as the full screen.
Let me try once again. Now?
No, madam. It's not visible.
I can.
One more thing, madam. Yeah, one more thing, madam. You can do is you can upload your slides on the slides bar that is given in the window, madam. You can see on the right three settings below that attendees, the chat, polls, and there is one option slides.
Slides.
Yes, madam. Slideshow.
Now it's fine. Is it working? Not. It's not
No,
working
madam.
at your side. Slide shorter.
Yeah, madam. You can try that. Still, madam, it's not yet coming.
It's not coming.
Madam, one more thing you can do is, madam, 1 minute, I'll just show you.
It's coming on my side, full screen. It's not showing at your side.
Yes, madam, one more thing you can do is that you go back to the browser where the event, where the webinar agent is going on.
Okay.
Yes, madam.
Now?
Then you can find one link, slides is there, slides.
Slides, right.
Yes, madam. Did you click that?
Yes.
Then, madam, there is an option, add a new presentation.
It's not.
Add a new presentation.
It's not opening at my side.
Madam, you need to click that.
Yes, I'm clicking it. It's not opening.
I think there must be some.
Let me try once again. Screen share.
Sure, madam.
Is it visible?
Yes, madam, it is visible, but the complete screen is not coming.
It is coming on my side actually. I don't know what.
Okay, madam. Okay, madam. You can start. You can start the presentation.
Okay. So.
You just.
So why Dr. Hahnemann used totality of the symptoms instead of totality of symptoms? Because the has a significance. The denotes a group. It refers to a specific or particular thing. So it means totality of specific symptoms. Means totality of the qualitative symptoms. We don't need the quantity of symptoms when we do case taking. So let's move on. Aphorism 7, it says, now, as in a disease from which no manifest exciting and maintaining cause, that is, causa occasionalis, has to be removed, we can perceive nothing but the morbid symptoms. It must regard being had to the possibility of a miasm and attention paid to the accessory circumstances. So, Dr. Henneman advised us in Aphorism 7 to first remove the exciting and maintaining causes, which we call as causa occasionalis. Exciting cause, which is responsible for exciting a disease condition, and the maintaining cause, which are responsible for maintaining a disease condition. So, before starting the treatment or before forming the totality of the symptoms, we have to remove the exciting and maintaining causes, and after that, after removal of these exciting and maintaining causes, we can perceive nothing but the morbid symptoms or the pure diseased picture. It must regard being had to the possibility of a miasm and attention paid to the accessory circumstances. To remove these exciting and maintaining causes, we have to pay attention to the accessory circumstances which are given in Aphorism 5. So it is we have in a, especially in a chronic disease, what are these accessory circumstances? These are the constitution of the patient. Especially we have to consider the constitution of the patient in chronic diseases. We have to consider the moral and intellectual his moral and intellectual character. We have to see in which occupation he is in, and we have to see the mode of living and habits. His social and domestic relationships has to be considered, his age has to be considered, and of course the sexual function has to be considered. All these are the etc, all these are the accessory circumstances which we have to take care of during our case taking, to find out what can be the exciting causes and maintaining causes which we have to remove first, so that we will progress towards the cure process. If be the symptoms alone by which the disease demands and points to the remedy. So after removal of exciting and maintaining causes, the symptoms, the morbid symptoms which left are the only thing which the disease demands and points to the remedy, which will help us in pointing towards a suitable similar, the most similar remedy which will suited to relieve it. And moreover, the totality of these, its symptoms of this outwardly reflected picture of the internal essence of the disease, that is of the affection of vital force. These signs and symptoms are because of the derangement of vital force, and these are the sole thing which we have to take care of in order to cure. These are the principle, these are the sole means whereby the disease can make known what remedy it requires. So this totality of the symptoms is the only thing we need to consider if we want to cure a malady. And thus, in a word, the totality of the symptoms must be the principle. So Dr. Henneman clears this thing in Aphorism 7, that the totality of the symptoms, the qualitative, the pure picture of the symptoms after removal of the exciting and maintaining causes, what left, what signifies a pure picture, which form a pure picture of the individual, is the must be the principle. Indeed, the only thing the physician has to take note of in every case of disease. He has to take note of these symptoms and signs in every case of the disease. Every case is a new case, and we have to find out the characteristic, peculiar, rare symptoms in cases to remove by means of his art, in order that it shall be cured and transformed into health. So these are the sole thing. This is the principle on which we have to work, and which we have to remove by our skills and art, and so that cure and transformation to health can take place. Then in this aphorism 7, Dr. Hahnemann, he classified basically the disease into twofold. We have twofold classification of disease. One is disease associated with the exciting and maintaining cause, that is the causa occasionalis, which we call indisposition. So what is disposition? Disposition is basically the natural qualities of a person, the physical, the emotional, the mental state of a person, the nature basically. And second is the disease with no manifest causa occasionalis. Indisposition is caused by disease associated with exciting and maintaining cause, that is we call indisposition, where we have this deviation from the natural qualities of a person because of some exciting and maintaining cause, because of some external causes. This we call causa occasionalis, and this we term as indisposition. On the other hand, the disease with no manifest causa occasionalis, where the miasm is involved, that are the true diseases. Otherwise, if there is some lurking, exciting or maintaining cause, then we will call it as indisposition. Now, in aphorism 7 footnote, he has also mentioned it is not necessary to say that every individual physician would first remove this exciting and maintaining cause, that is the causa occasionalis, where it exists. The indisposition thereupon generally ceases spontaneously. So Dr. Hahnemann advises or said that every intelligent physician would first remove this exciting and maintaining cause wherever it exists. And when we remove these causes, the indisposition generally ceases spontaneously. And what left, then we treat it accordingly. Now, what is indisposition? It is basically the mimicking sickness or illness. These are the apparent disease, which are not diseases, but the diseased states. A sorry individual has this indisposition from the external causes. Like it is only a slight alteration of health. It is an apparent state which can be dispelled by the alteration in the diet and regimen. So there is no need for medicine until and unless it is prolonged, and there is no miasmatic involvement. These external causes are apparent, and these doesn't need any medicines because these external causes does not inflict the miasmatic manifestation or the miasm upon him. And so this indisposition and the group of symptoms produced by these external factors are only an imitation of the miasmatic manifestations. Like for if a psoriatic individual has this indisposition because of he has some stomach disturbances from an unhealthy eating or overeating, so there whenever he remove that habit of overeating, he will be fine. There is no need to for a medicine, for a homeopathic intervention. So if it is a prolonged state, then we just need to give a single dose of whatever similar remedy is coming. We don't need to give him medicines for a long time. Only we need to just alteration, give his lifestyle management is needed, and alteration in the diet and regimen is needed. It will generally go off spontaneously without medicines. Now the type of indisposition, we have two types of indisposition, that is natural indisposition. It is of two types, subtypes, acute and chronic. Acute is because of the exciting causes, and chronic, it is due to the long-term maintaining causes. So basically in indisposition, only the exciting causes and the maintaining causes are responsible for these states. Now artificial indisposition, we will discuss it later. Now, what is indisposition? In aphorism 77, Dr. Hahnemann said those states of ill health which persons bring upon themselves disappear spontaneously without medicine. We don't. These are the ill states of health which persons bring upon themselves because of these external factors, external causes, disappear spontaneously without medicine. We don't need medicines to remove the to treat them under an improved mode of living. We do not need any medicine, and they will disappear under an improved mode of living, provided no chronic miasm lurks in the body, and they cannot be called chronic disease. These are not chronic disease. These are just imitations of the chronic miasmatic manifestations. So he in 1477 he termed it as pseudo-chronic diseases. Now they are inappropriately called chronic. They are not chronic because miasm is not lurking. Miasm is not in the active phase and seems to be real chronic disease. As I said, they are the only imitations of the miasmatic manifestations. So they look like a real chronic disease. It occurs in person who exposes themselves continuously to avoidable noxious influences and a prolonged abstinence, or they can be prolonged abstinence from things that are necessary for the support of life. If they are indulging in the avoidable noxious influences, they can be they can produce the pseudochronic disease. Or if there is abstinence of the things which are necessary for life, then they can develop these pseudochronic diseases. Causes can be like indulgence in addictions like alcoholic drinks, drugs, tobacco, cannabis, opioids, even excess of tea, coffee. It can be irregular eating, overeating, inadequate diet, unhygienic living conditions, anxiety, stress, or prolonged grief. So they can cause a state of indisposition. Until and unless the miasm they are acting for a prolonged time and the miasm get activated, these are known as pseudochronic disease. Otherwise they will known as true chronic diseases. Now, second one is artificial indisposition. Dr. Hahnemann discussed it in aphorism 141 footnote. So, these are caused by taking medicines like we do in our drug proving. They are not injurious to health. We are giving our medicines homeopathic. We are proving our medicines and giving them artificially to the individuals. And what it create? It create a symptoms. It produced sign and symptoms in healthy individuals. So we term it as artificial indisposition, and this is actually healthy. It makes the immune system stronger, expert in repelling all external influences which can be natural and artificial that are inimical to his frame. They will increase the resistance and help become more unalterable and more robust. So this this homeopathic drug proving is healthy. Now let's talk about what are true chronic disease. So basically, true chronic diseases are because of miasm. It can be soda, it can be syphilis, and it can be psychosis. So cause is within. Our duty is we must discriminate between the external and apparent cause of sickness and causes of true diseases. The apparent cause of sickness is without this miasm. No sora, so there will be no deep miasmatic influence upon it. No affection of previous stated example can happen. There will be an orderly state. If there is no miasm, these external factors will not affect. The true chronic disease, they will appear from center, they will produce from the center to the circumference. And in true chronic, every curable disease, every curable case will present you with the signs and symptoms. So if you are unable to find any peculiar characteristic sign and symptoms, so it seems it will be an incurable case for you. Every curable case has the peculiarity, characteristic symptoms in it. and we have to find out these totality of the symptoms for the purpose of cure. So the totality of the symptoms, it is the sole mean by which the disease demands and points to the choice of the most appropriate remedy. Now, totality of symptoms. Symptoms is the outwardly reflected picture of the internal essence of disease, that is the affection of the vital force. So, symptom is what we see externally, what we perceived externally by the means of senses, what we can touch, what we can see, what we can feel. So, whatever these can be perceivable, the changes in the health of the body and of the mind. Morbid phenomena, the accidents, the symptoms. He has given this, that every change in the health of the body and of the mind, these disease phenomenon, these accidents, these symptoms are, they can form the totality of the symptoms, and they we can perceive them. We have to notice only the deviation from the former healthy state of the now diseased individual. We have to see the deviations only. We have to notice the deviation only. We have to take note of these deviations. Now, the sources to form the totality of the symptoms, so which we call portrait of disease. So, the sources are the patient himself and the persons around him. It can be his relatives, it can be his friends, and it is observed by the physician himself. Now, removal of the totality of the symptoms, or removal of the whole of the perceptible signs and symptoms of a disease. When we remove these totality of the symptoms, we will remove each and every perceptible sign and symptoms of in a disease. Then we can say we have removed the disease in its whole extent, and then we can term it as ideal cure. And that is the only transformation into health. Now, totality of symptoms. We have a lot of classification of disease, and Dr. Hahnemann gave this classification: common symptoms and uncommon symptoms. We can use different classifications like Dr. Kent's, in which we can use mental generals, physical generals, and particulars. We can use Dr. Boning Hussein's classification of complete symptom, that is location, sensation, modalities, and concomitants. We can use this other classification like Quisquid, Cubis Oxalis, Kur, Qumodo, and Quinando. So it depends on us. It depends what symptoms we are getting from our patient. We can classify them accordingly. Now, what makes totality of the symptoms? First of all, it's causation. Every effect has a definite cause. If there is no cause, there will be no effect. And in Allen's Materia Medica, we have it is a very systematic Materia Medica, and we have this as Dr. Allen has mentioned in his Materia Medica in many of the drugs, like under ailments from. So we can find many examples, and we have to find out in our cases what can be the cause. That is why we are asking the history of the presenting complaint, in which we try to find out what can be the cause, what was the conflict, where what is the beginning of the disease, what is the cause of in the beginning. So we try to search it out, and ailments from it is a very important point. And in Allen's, we have fear, ailments from fear or fright. We can think of aconite. Disappointed love, we can think of aurum, ignitia, phosphoric acid. We have ailments from business embarrassment. We have embra, sepia, semicifuga. We have a long ailments from long lasting grief or jealousy. We can think of lachesis. We have ailments from insult, indignation, like in staph, ignitia, loss of sleep, cocculus. So we have a lot of examples given in our Materia Medica, and we have to search what is the cause, what was the cause lurking behind it, because we have to treat it accordingly. Our materia medica is in this way. We have to work on it. Then we have weather changes. We have lot of ailments given ailments from given in materia medicas. Next is complete symptom. We have to always try to complete our symptoms, whatever the case is, and we have to find out the location, the sensation. Location is important because we have in repertories and materia medicas the specific locations which will help us in selecting our remedies. So if it is a left-sided remedy, left-sided problem, then the medicines are different. Like lachesis, we can think of spigelia, we can think of thuja, lilium take, mercbeniode. If it is a right-sided problem, we can think of right rustox, lycopodium, merc protoiode, podophyllum. So in this way we have a lot of remedies. If it is of symmetrical eruptions are there, we can think of arnica. If the problem is going from left to right, then we can think of agaricus, entimtard, stramonium. If it is going from right to left, lycopodium is the remedy. And in this way we can differentiate, we can individualize our case. We have to collect such symptoms, we have to collect those characteristic, peculiar, rare symptoms which will qualify to make a perfect totality. And in this way, like, we have to find out the sensation. What are the sensation? What are the feelings of the patient? What type of what kind of pain it is? So it will help you in differentiating your remedies. In this same way, you have to find out the modalities. What are the time modalities? Like if it is a problem of 3 a.m., 3 p.m., you can think of Kali group. If it is of 11 a.m., aggravation is there, you can think of sulfur. If there is aggravation from bending forward, if there is abdominal pain, and if there is aggravation from bending forward, amelioration from bending forward, you can think of colosynth. If there's and magphos. If there is in the same case, if there is amelioration from warm applications, so you can think of magphos, which is more suitable in this case. If there is amelioration from bending backwards in an abdominal pain, you can think of diasporia. So the modalities also plays a very important role in this totality formation. In the same way, concomitants, the concomitants which the symptoms which do not have any physiological and pathological relationship with the main symptom, these we call as concomitants. We have to find out concomitants in a given case. And like if it is a case of hypertension, there is a profuse urination, that is a common symptom. But if there is vertigo which is aggravated only on lying down, so it becomes a concomitant, which is very important, and which helps us in selecting a particular remedy, which will take you to a more similar remedy, and it makes our work easier. So we have to consider the past history, we have to consider the family history. Treatment history is important because as we know, if the patient is taking treatment for different diseases, we have to see if there is some artificial chronic diseases. Dr. Hahnemann has told us. So we have to find out if there is any side effects of some treatment which he has taken. So if there are, we have to consider the personal history. We have to see what are the habits of him. We have to see the constitution of the patient, because like in Allen, we have also the constitution is are also mentioned in many remedies. Like if the patient is beautiful, if it is a fair tall lady, then we can think of belladonna phosphorus. If she is chubby, fair, more sweating is there, calcarea carb can be the remedy. If the patient is dirty or filthy, sulfur sorinum is the remedy. If he has deep furrows in the forehead, or if he is looking older than his is aged, then we can think of lycopodium. If his upper part is emaciated and the lower is semi-dropsical, we can think of lycopodium. If the upper part is heavy and the legs are emaciated, we can think of ammonium mule. So in this way our materia medica is, and this will help us if we find out such peculiar symptoms in a given case. These can be the characteristic symptoms for a given case. So we have to consider the personal history also. Then the physical generals, we have to consider appetite, thirst, desire, aversions, sleep, perspiration, the position of sleep, and many things, because these can be peculiar. And mental generals also, we have to see the mental state of the patient during deviated mental state. Like if the patient is always like sweets, so that is the symptom is less important. But after the ailment started, then he likes sweets, then it becomes more important to us. Second thing, physical generals are very important to ask, because physical generals can be same for will be same for all of us. But in mental generals, our perceiving, it depends on our judgment from physician to physician. It can be like it is something for me, it can be different for you, but the physical generals will be same always. So we can depend on physical generals more than the mental generals. Then general and systemic examination is also very important to find out the cause, to find out the effects, to work on it. Now I have a case in which I would try to tell you or share you what is indisposition, or what can be the factors like exciting or maintaining factors lurking in a case, or what can be the totality, or how we proceed to form the totality of the symptoms. So this is a patient. He is a male patient of 26 years old. He came to me for anxiety disorder, and what he said, he has very much negative thoughts. There is weakness of memory. There is pain at nape of neck with vertigo. There are palpitations. Irritability is there. Patient feels as if everything is fake. ऐसा लगता है कि उसने मुझे बोला कि मैम ऐसा लगता है, जब वो मुझसे बात कर रहा था, ऐसा लगता है कि जैसे जो भी हो रहा है मेरे आसपास वो सब एक फेक है. इट इज ऑल, मैं आपसे बात कर रहा हूँ तो ये सच में नहीं हो रहा. इट इज नॉट रियल, और ऐसा कुछ हो ही नहीं रहा, ये सब कुछ फेक. बहुत ज्यादा दिस इज हिज परसिस्टेंट सिम्टम कि सब कुछ फेक है. एंड बाकी की चीजें थी कि एक ही चीज ही वाज, कोई भी चीज उसको बोल दो, उसको उसमें नेगेटिव चीज ही ढूंढनी है, और ही सफरिंग फ्रॉम दिस. उसको एंजाइटी पैनिक अटैक्स भी आ चुके हैं, और उसके बाद वो अब मेरे पास आया, साइकेट्रिक ट्रीटमेंट भी ले चुका. देन so all these are the symptoms, his symptoms. Now history of presenting complaint was he got the first panic attack in December 19, and in which he lost his senses and just running out of his house. After that he started psychiatric medicines, because घर वाले बहुत ज़्यादा पैनिक हो गए थे इस चीज़ को लेकर कि मतलब ये क्या हुआ कि वो बाहर ही भागने की कोशिश कर रहा है. On further inquiry, it is found that there is a breakup history in 2014. So the girl has cheated on him, and the problem started after this. He got married in 2015. उसकी एक छोटी 1 or 2 year की बेबी भी है. एंड द फैमिली हिस्ट्री, मदर को भी इस तरह के नेगेटिव थॉट्स और डिप्रेशन की प्रॉब्लम है. टीबी भी फैमिली हिस्ट्री में हमको मिला. देन फिजिकल जनरल्स, एपेटाइट वाज इंक्रीज्ड, ही कैन नॉट टॉलरेट हंगर, देयर इज एम्प्टीनेस फीलिंग इन द एपिगेस्ट्रिक रीजन, स्पेशली इन द मॉर्निंग. ही सेड कि भूख मुझे बहुत ज़्यादा लगती है, और जैसे कि उसको पेन था नेप ऑफ नेक में, नेक पेन रहा उसको. सो आई एडवाइज्ड हिम टू डू सर्वाइकल नेक एक्सटेंशन एक्सरसाइजेस. बट व्हाट ही सेड, नेक्स्ट टाइम पर जब वो आया तो मैंने उसको पूछा कि आपने एक्सरसाइजेस की, देन ही सेड कि नहीं मैम एक्चुअली मुझे ना, या वॉक, मैंने उसको एडवाइस किया वॉक करने के लिए, एटलीस्ट हाफ एन आवर आप वॉक करो और या मेडिटेट करो. आई हैव गिवन लॉट ऑफ ऑप्शंस टू हिम. सो ही डिड नथिंग. एंड जब मैंने उसको पूछा एक्सरसाइज के लिए, देन ही सेड कि मैम मुझे भूख इतनी लगती है कि मैं जैसे ही सुबह उठता हूँ तो मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि बस अभी मुझे कुछ खाना है. 10 बजे 11 बजे सोकर उठ रहा है, एंड देन उठते ही he wants something to eat and he cannot tolerate his hunger. देर इज एम्प्टीनेस फीलिंग, और इसकी वजह से मैं एक्सरसाइज नहीं कर पाता. तो मैंने कहा चलो ठीक है, अगर आप खा लेते हो उसके बाद 2 घंटे 3 घंटे बाद जैसे भी है, उसके बाद जब टाइम मिले आप शाम को कर लिया करो. तो ही सेड कि वो 2-3 घंटे में ना मुझे फिर से भूख लग जाती है, देन वो भूख मुझसे बर्दाश्त नहीं होती. तो दिस इज मार्क्ड. थर्स्ट वॉज 1 to 2 liters per day. Desires was sweets, non-veg. Sweets was very marked. उसकी जो वाइफ थी एंड उनकी मदर, उन दोनों ने भी बोला कि हाँ इनको स्वीट्स, दो दे सपोर्ट दिस थिंग कि स्वीट्स उनको बहुत ज़्यादा पसंद है अभी. एंड स्लीप वॉज डिस्टर्ब एंड perspiration was increased. It is offensive. It stains yellow. Now thermals were, he was a hot patient and tongue is white coated as you see in the picture. मेंटल्स, ही इज वेरी पेसिमिस्ट बिकॉज कोई भी चीज उसको, कुछ भी बोल दो आप, किसी भी बारे में आप उससे बात कर लो, वो उस चीज का पॉजिटिव नहीं, वो उस चीज का नेगेटिव ही मतलब निकालता है. वो आप कुछ भी पॉजिटिव बात कर लो वो उसको नेगेटिव ही लेगा, नेगेटिव ही सोचेगा. देन देर इज मिसट्रस्ट के भी इश्यूज कह सकते हैं उसको, क्योंकि जो ब्रेकअप हुआ वहाँ पे उसके साथ एक चीट हुआ, जिसके बाद उसके जो ट्रस्ट इश्यूज हैं वो डेवलप हो गए. मतलब उसके बाद से उसको ये फीलिंग आने लगी कि मेनली क्या था कि सब कुछ फेक है, एवरीथिंग इज फेक, कुछ भी हो रहा है. उसके बाद से ये दिस फीलिंग ही हैज डेवलप्ड इन लास्ट 2 years. सो 2014 में ब्रेकअप हुआ था. देन ऑब्सेसिव थॉट्स की, हाँ जो मतलब एक ही चीज को लेते रहना, जो नहीं भी हो रहा है उसको भी मतलब देखना, उस चीज को उसी तरह से मतलब नेगेटिव ही लेना, और वही मतलब उसको अगर कुछ भी प्रॉब्लम होगी, लाइक ही वाज एक्सरसाइजिंग, उसने सर्वाइकल बड़ा बहुत बोलने पर उसने सर्वाइकल एक्सटेंशन की एक्सरसाइज स्टार्ट की. देन थोड़ा सा जैसे वॉक किया तो उसके बाद आधा घंटा वॉक किया तो उससे पाल्पिटेशन उसको थोड़ी स्टार्ट हुई. तो उसने क्या कहा कि मैम मैं ये नहीं कर सकता क्योंकि इससे ना मेरे को धड़कन बढ़ जाती है और उसके बाद मैं नहीं कर सकता, मतलब इससे मेरे को ऐसा लगता है कि कुछ हो जाएगा. सो ही पैनिक इजीली इन स्लाइटेस्ट थिंग्स. देयर इज फियर ऑफ इम्पेंडिंग डिजीजेस, लाइक कुछ हो जाएगा. जरा सा अगर उसका बीपी लो हुआ, देन अगर वो थोड़ा ड्राउजी फील कर रहा है तो मैम आप मेरा, उसको हेडेक हो गया तो मैम आप मेरा एमआरआई करा लो, सीटी स्कैन करा लो, क्या टेस्ट कराऊं मैं, कहीं मुझे कैंसर तो नहीं है, कहीं मुझे ये माइग्रेन की प्रॉब्लम तो नहीं है. तो ही वाज लाइक खुद ही डायग्नोज, और यूट्यूब पे बार बार ढूंढते रहे ना कि मुझे ये प्रॉब्लम तो नहीं है, मुझे ये प्रॉब्लम तो नहीं है. नींद में आँख खुल गई तो कहीं ऐसा तो नहीं मैम मुझे स्लीप एपनिया की प्रॉब्लम तो नहीं है. सो इस तरह से उसको ये कि मुझे कहीं कोई डिजीज हो ना जाए. सो आई रेपर्टराइज दैट केस. वन मोर थिंग, जब वो पहली बार मेरे पास आया था एंड जब मैंने उसका एग्जामिनेशन किया तो उसमें उसको जो नेक की स्टिफनेस थी एंड ही वाज सेइंग कि मुझे ना ये स्टिफनेस रहती है और मुझे हल्का हल्का पेन भी है. सो सबसे पहले आई एडवाइज्ड हिम टू गो फॉर विटामिन डी टेस्ट एंड विटामिन B12. बाकी टेस्ट MRI, आई चेकअप, बाकी CT स्कैन, वो सब कुछ करा चुका था. हर एक डॉक्टर के पास, हर एक फील्ड में वो जा चुका था. बाकी सभी रिपोर्ट्स उसकी नॉर्मल थी. हीमोग्लोबिन वाज आल्सो 15 विच वाज वेरी गुड. सो लेकिन मैंने उसको एडवाइस किया, विटामिन डी एंड B12 किसी ने नहीं कराए थे एंड आई एडवाइज हिम ऑन हिज फर्स्ट विजिट कि आप ये करा कर लाइए मुझे, because vitamin D or vitamin B12, they are responsible for these anxiety disorders. And you can see कि इस रिपोर्ट में विटामिन B12 उनका 185 आ रहा है, जो कि लोअर रेंज में है. वी नीड एटलीस्ट above 200 or we need it in at least in the middle range, around 300 to 400. And vitamin D also, it is 7, which we need at least 40, 50. So these these reports are saying itself कि we have to work on this management. We have to fulfill his nutritional deficiencies, which can be the reason for this aggravation of disease. These can be, we can say, the maintaining causes. एंड अगर हम ये सब कंसिडर नहीं करेंगे और हम ऐसे ही मेडिसिन देते रहेंगे तो क्योर इज नॉट पॉसिबल. वी हैव टू कंसिडर दिस थिंग, वी हैव टू रिमूव दिस maintaining factor, maintaining cause, which Dr. Hahnemann advised in Aphorism 7. So next visit mein he came with these reports, and after that I have also repertorized his case. So the mind is pessimist, and he is always taking the negative side of the thing, of the conversation, of the things. उसके दोस्त उसको कुछ भी बोल दें तब भी उसको उस चीज़ में नेगेटिव ही लेना है. अगर मैं उसको कुछ एडवाइस कर रही हूँ तो उसमें वो पॉजिटिव चीज़, अगर कुछ एडवाइस किया तो वो पॉजिटिव चीज़ छोड़कर ही विल गो ऑन फॉर द नेगेटिव थिंग कि मैम ऐसा तो नहीं है, मैम ऐसा तो नहीं हो जाएगा, मुझे ऐसा तो नहीं हो जाएगा. अच्छा आप कह रहे हो कि जैसे अभी लास्ट विजिट में भी उसने क्या किया, उसको बेसिकली बीपी लो था, उसकी वजह से ड्राउजीनेस और थोड़ा हेडेक हो रहा था. देन ही आस्क्ड, मैम मेरे को कोरोना के सिम्टम्स तो नहीं है. तो like this he is always negative. Then mind ailments from deceived from being, because deceived जो भी mistrust जो मैंने लिखा, या जो भी वो जो 2014 में जो इवेंट उसके साथ हुआ जिसकी वजह से जो ये प्रॉब्लम स्टार्ट हुई. सो आई टुक दिस इज वेरी peculiar in this case because ailment started after that girl deceived him, that girl cheated on him. So ailments from deceived from being. Then mind delusions, unreal, everything seems unreal. So he is saying, he is always अब तक मेरे पास कई बार आ चुका है, and he is always saying this line, मैम ऐसा लगता है सब कुछ फेक है. So this is the very important, and this is the very persistent symptom which I got in this case, कि सब कुछ fake है, सब कुछ unreal है, nothing is real. So this I took as delusions, unreal, everything seems unreal. Then in generalities, physical generals, we got the symptom of desire, sweets. देन हंगर एग्रेवेट्स, उसको खाने को नहीं मिलता तो उसको प्रॉब्लम स्टार्ट हो जाती है. So I took it as hunger aggravates his problems. Then mind, anxiety, health about. He has this anxiety, he has this thing कि मुझे कैंसर तो नहीं हो गया है, मुझे स्लीप एपनिया की प्रॉब्लम तो नहीं हो गई है, मुझे हल्का सा हेडेक हुआ तो मुझे माइग्रेन तो नहीं है, मुझे कोरोना तो नहीं हो गया. Always taking these different diagnostic names and tell me कि मैम मुझे ये तो नहीं हो गया, मुझे वो तो नहीं हो गया. So next is fear of इम्पेंडिंग डिजीज. उसको वो फियर भी है वहाँ कि मुझे कुछ हो ना जाए, वो डर भी है कि मुझे हो ना जाए, और चेक भी कर, एंजाइटी भी है अपनी हेल्थ को लेकर. सो द रेमेडीज विच कम इन दिस टोटालिटी आफ्टर रेपर्टाइजेशंस आर स्टेफिसिगेरिया, नाट्रम्यूर, लाइकोपोडियम, alumina, aurum, met. So in staph it is covering almost all the symptoms. He is like वो ऐसा नहीं है कि staph, as you know, staph is very sensitive to, he's very sensitive what people are thinking about him, and he never fights. Staph patient will never fights. He will you can see that symptom in Allen's, like subdued his wrath. और वो क्या करेगा उस टाइम पे, कुछ अपना गुस्सा, उसको बहुत गुस्सा आएगा, बट ही विल नॉट शो दैट एंगर. इज इन फैक्ट घर आके वो जरूर ये कर सकता है कि चीजें तोड़ दे, फोड़ दे, या व्हेन ही इज एंग्री उसको वो ट्रैम्बलिंग ऑफ बॉडी यू विल फाइंड इन स्टाफ पेशेंट, बट they cannot fight. They are not that इतने bold. स्टाफिसिगेरिया नहीं होता. नाट्रम्यूर can be bold. natromute, so natromute के कोई ऐसे and desire for sweets, this will also support staphysicaria, and the hunger aggravation, this also supports staph. So natramure on the other side, there are desires for salty, and so I most of Aurum is basically he is basically very much ambitious. He is not that ambitious. वो अभी कुछ भी काम नहीं कर रहा, ना कोई ambition है. He is इन हिज डिजीज, वो सिर्फ उसी की उसकी सोच जो है वो सिर्फ अपनी हेल्थ को लेकर है अभी. एंड ही इज़ नॉट एम्बिशियस, फ्यूचर के कोई प्लान्स नहीं है. ही इज़ नॉट लाइक सो मच रिलीजियस. एंड सो आई वेंट, आई टुक staff as my remedy. The choice of remedy was a staff, and I gave that remedy in 200 potency, because the mentals are very much peculiar, or I got them. So in cases where we got some peculiar mental symptoms, we should use the highest high potencies. So I went for the middle. I chose 200 potency, and he is better. And yes, I have also given him, on the basis of his reports, I also gave him supplements for the vitamin D weekly, and for B12 daily BD with our medicine. So he's better now, but things are going on, and he is under my treatment. The second case is it's a case of a female patient, and she is 25 years old, came to me 15 days back. Presenting complaint was उसको घबराहट हो रही थी since 15 days. What she said is, ma'am, दिल घट सा रहा है, and there was drowsiness. So physical generals was, this is an acute case, so we don't need to uh, go for a lengthy case taking in such cases. And physical generals were, appetite was decreased, thirst is she's thirstless, tongue is white coated with imprints of teeth. When I go for examination, pulse rate was 76 per minute, but the blood pressure was found to be 90 versus systolic was 90, and the diastolic was 60 mmHg. So on the basis of just totality, in acute case, we don't need many of the symptoms. Sometimes if we have only 3 keynotes in a case, this will also, we can take it as a totality. What we need the peculiar symptoms of a case, and we don't need to ask like in chronic case, we don't need to ask everything. In a case, acute cases, like the symptoms are very presentable in acute cases, and we can go for like thirstless hai, drowsiness hai, dullness hai, BP was very low, so I prescribed Gelsemium 30 one dose. लेकिन BP low है, that is why these symptoms are coming. And because of this season, humidity season है, she was thirstless, she's not taking her diet properly. So and there is also stress. So BP low hona is common in these days, and we have to correct the electrolyte imbalance. So in this case, we have to advise the patient for electrol or the electrolytes to maintain her BP. But because this problem has been going on from the from 15 days, so I prescribed Gelsemium 30. Otherwise, there, if the problem is of 1 day or 2 days, it is not needed to give homeopathic intervention. I think the management to give this electrolyte, this will only work in such cases. We have to treat indisposition through our lifestyle management, through the diet, through the regimen. We don't need intervention, medicinal intervention in such cases. So this is all about my presentation for today, and thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, madam, for your wonderful presentation.
Thank you,
Uh,
Dr. Akshay.
uh,
I hope it was
yes,
little, it was interesting. I tried to make it interesting in a way. So by putting all the practical things on
yes, madam, it
the
was very
correlation of materia
yes.
and repertory. So
Yes, madam. It was a very interesting session because the topic that you chose was totality of symptoms and its practical utility.
yes,
Of course, madam, when we are the way you taught us about the totality of symptoms and the way you told us about the several symptoms, especially the PQRS symptom that we need to select, that is the importance of totality of the symptoms. That is, Hahnemann, our father of homeopathy, Dr. Hahnemann, have always been very specific, starting from the first aphorism to every aphorism. He has been trying to make it the way homeopathy is, not in a general sense, but to make it particular. That is why he used the definite article the to be very specific. And the way he taught us about the totality of the symptoms and its practically utility, where we find that homeopathy is a beautiful science where we take the uncommon from the common, and that
yes,
is where the artistic part of the pathy begins. Artistic part, because there are several symptoms which are peculiar curative symptoms, and we need to select them because these symptoms will make the individualization possible. And
yes.
again,
This is
madam,
not a one-day process. We need this art and skill, and we obviously need the experience.
yeah, madam, of course. And also the way you taught us about the fundamental causes along with the exciting cause and maintaining causes, that was also very nice. And I'm sure that our audience have enriched themselves. But I just saw that some of the audience have been could not understand some part of Hindi where they face some difficulty. But I'm sure that the concept that you told us, the theoretical part as well as the practical part, was great. And also regarding the fundamental cause, where you taught us about the SORA, which is the fundamental miasm, and along with the psychotic and syphilitic presentations.
Yes.
So, madam, overall, I'm sure that it has been a great session. And once again, I would like to congratulate you from the team of Homeopathy 360 and All India Homeopathic Students and Youth Association.
Thank
We are also looking forward to host your sessions again, and we will be very happy to learn from you, madam.
Thank you, Dr. Akshay, and I thank Homeopathy 360 and Asia for inviting me from on this platform. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, madam. So here, I would like to conclude today's webinar by saying that we should keep on understanding and revising our concepts, and the webinars play a very important role because always we might be having a doubts. And of course, I would like to ask to the participants that if they have any question, they can ask the question. Yes, madam, we have one question from Novali Chattopadhyay, that is, how we can remove the exciting cause.
So we have to find out the exciting cause in a given case. We have to find. This is what I said. This is our art. This is our skill. Unless and until we don't remove those exciting causes, we cannot cure the case. We can only palliate uh, the case. We can only give the temporary, relief to the patient if the exciting and maintaining causes are there. So we have to be, every case is different and our approach should be different. This is what I want to say.
Thanks a lot, madam.
Thank you.
One more question, madam. I would like to put that what is the importance of accessory miasm or the half miasms, different kinds of miasm that we keep on studying in our day-to-day reading. So, madam, how would you like to incorporate this miasmatic concept for selecting the totality?
Actually, miasmatic concept is very, broad. It is not like I we have to do a different webinar. We have to do another webinar for knowing this miasm concept. This is not, I can't say, I can't conclude it in 2 words or 2 lines.
That's true, madam. In fact, when we talk about the totality, then we talk about the miasmatic diagnosis. And of course, when we talk about the miasm, it's in itself a great concept. And I'm sure that, madam, the incorporation of miasmatic concepts, and because homeopathy is the interplay of all the concepts, and sure that leads to achieve the holistic concept of healing. Thanks a lot, madam. Once again, I would like to ask if our participant have any question, they can put the question in the chat box. But one question is there from Dr. Suhas Ramchandra Joshi, that why is there any need of sachets or electrolytes if remedy is correct?
Because of this weather, we need to give her electrolytes. It is not like remedy is correct, I know, but it will again, if this imbalance will be there, if it can it can be a maintaining cause. So we have to fulfill the needs of the body, that we need to give the electrolytes.
Okay, madam.
Otherwise her
One more
BP will
question.
be getting low. It can be recur. It can recur.
Yes, madam, that's a very nice answer, because it is a part of the management, and several
Yes,
times we have
because
to
in
give the
one case
electrolytes.
there is a deficiency of vitamin D and B12. If we can say that if our remedy is correct, we don't need to give vitamin D or B12, but this is not true. We have to work on the maintaining causes, and in the same way we have to give the electrolytes solution.
That's right, madam. One more question we have, madam, from Nitya Shri. She's asking, if there is a history of suicide in our patient, but now he's completely not like that, no suicidal thoughts, should we consider this symptom for our totality?
No, we have to see what was the state when he got these suicidal thoughts. Suicidal thoughts are abnormal thing, and if he's not getting those thoughts, that is a normal thing. So we have to include the abnormal deviations from normal to abnormal. We don't need to include the normal things. We have to find out the uncommon things.
Oh, but that's the right interpretation, madam, because we need to find out the uncommon. And of course, madam, since you already told in your presentation about the personal history, we need to look inside the personal history, of course, because what was happening at that time when he wanted to commit suicide and what now the mental sphere is. Sure, madam, that because, of course, we can consider it in our totality, because we need to find out, we need to get a perfect portrait.
Yes.
Thanks a lot, madam. Once again, I would like to thank you from the team Homeopathy 360 and also team A.I.H.S.A.Y.A. Thanks a lot for today's webinar, madam.
Thank you, Dr. Akshay.
Okay, madam.